Hello there. We have been brought up in a world that relies on structure, on a system of control to keep us in check. And it's also to keep us socialized, to keep us working as a well-oiled machine in a kind of a rat race society, if you like. But we are coming to a time when we're breaking out of the old system. I'm sure you've noticed that. I'm sure you're part of that in some way. And we're becoming less externally reliant. We're learning, in fact, if you looked at my last video, that we cannot be externally reliant any longer. That the truth is that we must go within, and our strength must lie within in order for us to continue to move into higher levels of consciousness. And so this is a real readjustment period for many of us, myself included, as I reprogram and unlearn the old way of being. I'm probably one of the more severe examples of someone who was so externally reliant in systems of control for my own safety, for my own feeling of security. I'm sure you can relate to this. In fact, we all felt a sense of safety having such systems in place. We were taught that we were to feel safe because of these systems in place. And we looked to each other to see if we were doing the right thing. We looked externally to check in on ourselves, which is ironic. And we learned to socialize by doing the same thing as everyone else. And that also brought a level of acceptance, which also made us feel safe when we are included and we belong. So we are unlearning all of this deeply entrenched way of being. And so, of course, we're going to be uncomfortable at this time. And this is just one reason why we're going to be uncomfortable. But I want to bring to you a set of game rules that I'm starting to collect. And I believe these game rules are not just my own observations that I've started to collect and write down and record and notice in patterns in my life, but also I'm just picking up on the collective consciousness. I think we're all coming to the same conclusions. And what I really want to share today is the level of freedom that I feel, that I live because of these new internal game rules, this new level of perception and understanding of how things really work. And I've touched on these in past videos, but I really want to just create this kind of like tight little list today, which is growing, believe me. But I wanted to share with you the joy that these bring into my life, a level of freedom, like I said. What I'm noticing is as I apply and recognize these patterns, these rules, these laws of nature around me in my life experience, I'm beginning to dance with them. I'm beginning to entrain with them, to create a rhythm in my life, a beautiful melodic way of being, you know, of abundance, ease and grace, joy and peace that can only come with this level of surrender when you understand from higher level understanding what's really going on here. Now, I'm not saying I get it all, probably not even close, but we're all on this journey together. Well, the people who choose to take the hero's journey are on this together, and we are bravely facing everything that comes up on the way. And I think that we're going to begin to continue to come together and share these truths together and agree on these truths together. And these will become strengthened within our beings as we share these truths. So what is the first truth I want to share with you? Well, first I wanted to share that I believe, and I know that this is true actually, and that's why I really believe it, that all is here to serve me. All is here to serve me. And there's a level of freedom that you will also get when you fully embrace and understand and live this truth. Now, it's pretty hard to accept this for a lot of people. In fact, I would say this is probably the number one roadblock to stop people awakening into consciousness, because people want to continue to believe that they are victims and that everything in the external world is a battle that's against them. And we know this is separation consciousness. This is not unity consciousness. This is the illusion of separation. And so there's going to be a whole bunch of people who embrace this. I hope you're one of them. And part of this is, and I've just spoken about this previously, this is about embracing our shadows. And this is why this is the core focus in my coaching and counseling at the moment. It's where I'm being led to work with people, is their shadows, their inner child traumas, the fragmented aspects of them, the disassociated parts of them that they don't want to look at. So going into these uncomfortable areas in our life is part of opening our hearts. I've talked about this. So all is here to serve us is recognizing that when we look out into the world, we're looking at a reflection of our own inner world, law of correspondence, as within, so without. So we need to remember this, embrace it, accept it, and you will feel a level of freedom that you've never felt before. In fact, what I've noticed in my life is when I see a new shadow or challenge or problem in the external world, I immediately know that this is here to serve me. I don't just see the silver lining, I see the silver. It's here for me because I asked it to come into my experience, because I put the quest out to grow, transform, evolve, and shine up like a diamond. So see what it is for you. See it is for you. Everything around you is for you. And you will start to feel a joy within your heart arise. I know it sounds strange, but you'll start to feel that even amongst the hard times. You'll know deep down it's here for you. The second thing I wanted to talk about is that, the mind. I mean, my motto is master the mind. My background is neuro-linguistic programming. I'm fascinated by the mind. I was fascinated by the mind when I was an early teen. I think it's really interesting. I think a lot of people get stuck in the field of the mind in self-development and then they stop there. This is just one part of our growth, the self-development mind field. And so we need to recognize the mind is a servant. The mind is not the leader here. We must allow the heart to take the lead in our lives. And that's why we have to walk through shadows to open our heart. And that's why once you're operating from the heart, the mind works in harmony. This is heart coherence. You may have heard of it. When the heart entrains with the brain in frequency, in coherent frequency, working together. We've been brought up the inverted way. We've been brought up with the mind in charge. We actually block the heart. A lot of us have closed hearts. That's why we're all on the hero's journey to reopening them or opening them. And so remembering and starting to walk a life where the mind is a servant to the heart. And how do we do that? Surrender. It means letting go of the mind's grip on your life. It means when you catch yourself overthinking, and you want to start to do that, catch yourself using your awareness, catch yourself. You will say gently to the mind with your conscious awareness, your loving conscious awareness, thank you, mind. I recognize and acknowledge that you want to be in control. However, my heart's taking the lead from this point. Thank you for your service. We need our minds, but they must be in service to our heart. And so beginning to catch your mind in its work and acknowledging it, validating it, accepting it, and then just letting it know that the heart's in charge. And what this is doing is actually providing conscious awareness without judgment, without resistance to the mind. We're not trying to change the mind. We're not trying to problem solve the mind, because that's just all mind anyway. We're just simply accepting it. And that actually gets rid of all the resistance. And we become like water. We can flow around all of the old mind programming that used to think that it could sabotage and distort who you really were. And so allowing the mind to become servant sometimes is as simple as remembering gratitude, appreciation, love, and compassion. Spending time in these states will enable you to practice that muscle to grow the awareness that the mind is a servant to the heart. Dropping down into a heart space will become more of a habit for you. The mind will get used to that. It will create new neural pathways, new habits, where it used to take over, will become okay with taking the back seat in heart coherence. And so we need to remember this. We also need to know our gut is a third brain. This is actually where we receive all the millions and billions of bits of information every second, every moment. So it filters up this way. So in our previous experience, we've always filtered it right up into the mind and lost most information to our filters of perception, our lens of perception that blocks out everything that we don't believe in. We miss out. So we want to stop enabling the mind to be the final filter on things. We want the heart to be. The mind just acts in servitude to the heart's messages for us, which we follow in surrender. Hope that makes sense. There's plenty to say about that. I also wanted to mention my favorite quote, which is energy flows where attention goes. And this is based on the law of attraction, okay? Stop focusing on what you don't want. Stop focusing on your limitations. Stop whinging and complaining about what you haven't got. Stop looking for the voids, because you're going to create more of the same. We know this. We just need to make it at the forefront of our awareness. Focus on what you want to bring into this life experience. What you focus on grows. So what do you want to create? Swim around in your dreams. Experience it with all your senses. Make sure it comes from your heart, not your mind. This is important, okay? The mind is a servant to the heart. We can't have manifesting from the mind because it's in polarity. The mind is operating from polarity. And so we need to operate from the unified field, the heart. What we manifest from the heart will be in love. So check, what are your goals? Are they really yours? Are these really your dreams? Or are they some generic thing that you learned from the media? You know, a white picket fence around a house, 2.5 kids, and a nice sports car, and the CEO of a company. Okay, that's a very generic set of priorities. Are they really yours? Do they come from the heart? Time that we let go of anyone else's dreams and really just become our unique selves, unapologetically, authentically us. Let's get weird. Let's get intense. Let's be ourselves. Forget the socializing process. If you live in your heart, you're not going to cause murder and chaos in the 3D realm, okay? You're going to naturally walk in harmony in the realm of the 3D when you live in your heart. So just be you. Like, really be you. And let me help you out. If you're having trouble working out what you really want to do, work out your values. Just close your eyes, put your hands on your heart, take a big deep breath. So we're moving out of the fight, flight, freeze part of the brain and into the sense of calm, stillness, presence. And we just say, my heart, what is the most important thing to you in this life? Just reflexively answer. And that's your highest value. And that's what you can work towards, creating more beauty in that area of your life, more harmony, more joy, more excitement, more adventure, more curiosity. Whatever you want to do, experience it. But know that it comes from you, from your heart. So check your values are yours, and what you focus on grows. So just stop looking at everything that's not working for you and begin to hone in on what is that you want to experience in this life. Another thing, take full responsibility, okay? No more externalizing your power or blame or judgment or criticism on anything outside of you. And this comes back to the first thing I mentioned, which was all is here to serve us, and the law of correspondence and unity consciousness, and recognizing these truths and knowing them and living them. You can't ever possibly again not take full responsibility for your life experience. So just remember that, there's no saviors. You are your own hero. And also know that all relationships with others, all relationships are here to help us expand. They're not meant to be little beautiful, easy, together forever things. We're here to teach each other unity consciousness. So we bring out those shadows into the light through connecting with others. And yes, that can be very uncomfortable. So just know it's okay. Just don't ever cut yourself off from others out of fear of facing your own shadows. And let's be honest, that's a big reason people don't intimately connect with other human beings, why we isolate and retreat and stay small and afraid. Because we're afraid of actually finding our own shadows reflected in others. So recognize the beauty of what relationships really are here for. They're here to serve us. All right, so finally, I just want to talk about how once you really grasp these truths in your life and you start to walk with them and dance with them and see their beauty all around you and get a joy and excitement in your step because you recognize these things in your life, you'll start to see the external world around you reform with more harmony, more ease and grace, more abundance. And that your external world will start to dance and play with you. And you will feel aligned. You will feel synchronized. You will feel in love with life. And isn't that what heaven on earth is, bringing heaven to earth? So I hope this has been helpful for you. I just wanted to share some of the things that I've learned in my own experience. And, the main thing I want to leave you with is surrender. Remember to step outside of all of this mind stuff and self-development and trying to be better for a little bit each day and just be. Just be. You need to just be, because you will receive insight, intelligence, guidance, wisdom, and intuition when you step out of it and you allow that stillness to come in, allow spirit to come in and guide you. And you also get a beautiful amount of bliss and joy and love in the process. It's really worth it. So if this has been helpful, please like, subscribe, and share, and have a beautiful day. See ya.